Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel. Have you ever glanced at an old British penny and wondered if it's worth more than just its face value? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1991 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 1-penny coin. It's small, copper-toned, and easily overlooked. But could it be hiding a surprising value in today's collector market? Let's find out. To truly understand the value of any coin, you first have to look at where it came from. The 1991 Queen Elizabeth II 1-penny is part of the decimalized British coinage system introduced in the early 1970s. By 1991, the United Kingdom had firmly embraced this system, and the 1-penny coin had become a standard unit in everyday currency. On the front, or obverse, you'll find the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This was used for coins throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s. It features Her Majesty wearing the royal diadem, looking to the right, with elegant features and traditional regalia. The reverse features the portcullis with chains, a classic symbol associated with the British Parliament, along with the inscription, 1 penny. It's a simple yet historically rich design that has endured for decades. Now, let's talk about what really draws people's attention, the no-mint mark detail. Many collectors new to British coins assume that a missing mint mark indicates a rare variety. But in fact, the majority of United Kingdom circulating coins, including the 1991 penny, do not feature a mint mark at all. This is standard for British coinage. So when you find a 1991 penny without a mint mark, it's not automatically rare, it's simply the norm. The Royal Mint in the UK generally doesn't use visible mint marks on circulation coins unless they are produced for a special occasion or by a different branch. So this detail alone doesn't make the coin valuable, but its story doesn't end there. In 1991, the Royal Mint produced well over 200 million 1-penny coins. That places it firmly in the high mintage category. From a rarity standpoint, this means the coin is common. Millions were put into circulation, and many still survive today in old purses, drawers, and coin jars across the country. However, not all coins are created equal. Even among high mintage coins, certain examples stand out. Coins that were never circulated, known as uncirculated or mint state coins, often retain their original luster, sharp strike, and vibrant copper-red color. These coins can command a premium among collectors, especially if they're graded and preserved properly. So how do you know if your 1991 penny is worth something? It comes down to condition. That if your coin is heavily circulated, scratched, or discolored, it likely holds only face value, perhaps a tiny premium for those trying to complete a year set. But if your coin is in extremely fine condition or, even better, uncirculated condition, then you could be looking at a much more desirable piece. Grading is the process of evaluating a coin's physical state, from heavily worn to mint state perfection. Professional grading companies offer services to grade and encapsulate coins. A 1991 penny in top mint state could command a value significantly higher than one found in loose change. Now let's get into the more exciting part, errors and varieties. While the 1991 penny is not widely known for dramatic errors, that doesn't mean they don't exist. Coins can be struck off-center, double-struck, misaligned, or even struck on the wrong metal planchet. These types of minting errors are rare and usually command much higher prices depending on their visibility, rarity, and appeal. If you believe your 1991 penny has an unusual feature, such as doubled letters, missing design elements, or abnormal edges, it's worth having it examined by a coin expert or grading company. As of 2025, the vast majority of 1991 Queen Elizabeth II 1-penny coins in circulated condition are worth between 1 and 10 pence, often less than the cost to ship them. But the value increases dramatically based on condition. A coin in excellent, uncirculated condition could fetch several pounds from a collector looking to complete a high-grade decimal penny set. In perfect condition, with its original mint luster and no signs of handling, these coins can reach values in the range of 20 to 40 pounds, especially if slabbed and professionally graded. Exceptional error examples or rare varieties, though extremely scarce, could be worth even more. However, they would need expert authentication, good documentation, and a collector willing to pay for that rarity. So should you cash in your 1991 penny or keep it? If your coin is heavily worn, it's best considered a historical keepsake. If it's in mint state or shows signs of a striking error, then yes, it's definitely worth exploring its potential. Have it graded or listed online for collectors to see. Even common coins can surprise you when they're in perfect shape. Collectors often seek year sets or coins from specific decades, so even a common coin can find a home if it helps someone complete a collection. The 1991 Queen Elizabeth II 1-penny without a mint mark may not seem like much at first glance, but it's a reminder of Britain's rich numismatic history and the lasting legacy of Queen Elizabeth's reign. In most cases, it's a common coin, but with the right combination of condition, rarity, and perhaps a little luck, it could be worth far more than its humble denomination. So before you toss it in a drawer or spend it without a second thought, take a closer look. You just might have a small piece of valuable history in your hands. The 1994 one-penny coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, specifically the version with no mint mark. While often overlooked as common pocket change, this coin has drawn growing attention among collectors, dealers, and coin enthusiasts alike, not just for its design and historical context, but for its potential hidden value in today's market. We'll uncover the full story behind the 1994 one-penny coin, from its background and mintage, to what makes certain examples rare, and how much it's worth today, in the year 2025. If you're holding on to one of these, or considering adding it to your collection, this is the video you need to watch. To understand the significance of the 1994 one-penny coin, we need to revisit the broader context of British coinage. The United Kingdom underwent decimalisation in 1971, replacing the old pre-decimal currency system with a more streamlined decimal structure. The one-penny coin became the smallest circulating denomination, and its design was meant to reflect the modernization of the country's monetary system. By 1994, the penny was already a familiar fixture in the pockets of millions. It featured the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, facing right, accompanied by the traditional Latin inscription. The reverse depicted the crowned portcullis, a design closely associated with the British Parliament and long used to symbolize government authority and national identity. Despite its widespread circulation, the 1994 penny came with a unique feature that sparks interest even today: its lack of a mint mark. This was standard for most UK circulation coins produced by the Royal Mint in Wales, but it's the combination of mintage numbers, condition, and collector demand that determines which of these coins are worth more than their face value. The 1994 one-penny coin was made of copper-plated steel, replacing the earlier bronze compositions used in the 1970s and 1980s. It measures approximately 20.3 mm in diameter and weighs around 3.56 grams. The change in metal was largely due to rising production costs, and the magnetic nature of copper-plated steel made these newer coins easier to process and sort in vending machines and coin counters. On the obverse, Queen Elizabeth II is depicted in her third definitive portrait, designed to convey a sense of maturity and authority. The reverse shows the iconic portcullis with chains, topped with a crown, a symbol of strength and governance that has appeared on British coinage since the reign of Henry VII. The lack of a mint mark is typical for British coins minted at the Royal Mint's primary facility. However, it has sometimes led to confusion among collectors familiar with international mint mark systems, such as those used in the United States. In the UK, general circulation coins almost never display a mint mark unless they are part of a special issue. At first glance, it would be easy to dismiss the 1994 penny as a mass-produced, low-value coin. After all, hundreds of millions were struck for circulation. However, rarity in numismatics is not always about mintage alone. Several factors can make certain examples of this coin far more desirable than others. The most important factor is condition. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated state, with no scratches, wear, or corrosion, are far less common than their circulated counterparts. A coin that has retained its original copper luster, often described as full red in the numismatic world, will command a significantly higher price than one that has turned brown through oxidation or wear. Another major driver of value is the presence of die errors or anomalies. These can include misstrikes, double strikes, off-center designs, or die cracks. While these minting errors are rare, when found on a 1994 penny, they can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a collector's item worth many times its face value. Additionally, coins that have been officially graded and encapsulated by professional grading services tend to achieve higher prices in the marketplace. A penny graded in mint state condition, particularly with a designation of MS66 or higher, can be a standout item in any modern British collection. Now, let's talk numbers. As of 2025, the average 1994 one-penny coin in circulated condition holds minimal collector value and is often exchanged at or near its face value. However, things change dramatically when we step into the realm of high-grade specimens. Coins in excellent uncirculated condition, especially those with vibrant red coloration, can sell for several dollars, and in some cases, much more. In top-tier grades, values can range into the tens of dollars, particularly if the coin is authenticated and encapsulated by a major grading service. Exceptional examples, those graded as MS68 or above, have been known to sell for significant premiums, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars depending on market demand and the presence of any unique features. It's also important to remember that the numismatic market fluctuates. A coin's value can vary based on current trends, collector interest, and economic factors. In 2025, the demand for Queen Elizabeth II-era coins has seen a gradual rise following her passing and the transition to the reign of King Charles III. This has sparked renewed interest in coins from her long reign, especially those from the latter decades. If you believe you have a 1994 penny worth more than face value, start by assessing its condition. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check for signs of wear, damage, or minting errors. If the coin looks sharp and lustrous, and shows no obvious signs of wear, it may be worth a closer look. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can damage the surface and reduce its value. If the coin appears promising, consider submitting it for professional grading. This can help verify its condition and authenticity, and may increase its value in the eyes of collectors and dealers. When it comes time to sell, online auction platforms, coin shows, and specialist dealers are all viable avenues. Be sure to take clear, high-resolution photographs of both sides of the coin, and provide a detailed description of its condition and any notable features. Transparency is key to building trust and attracting serious buyers. The 1994 one-penny coin without a mint mark may not seem like much at first glance, but within the world of modern numismatics, it tells a story, one of national history, changing monarchs, evolving currency, and a vibrant community of collectors dedicated to preserving small pieces of the past. While the majority of these coins remain in circulation with minimal value, a select few, those preserved in perfect condition or bearing rare minting errors, can be worth significantly more. And as time goes on, and high-grade specimens become scarcer, their value may continue to grow. So the next time you come across a humble 1994 penny, take a second look. You might just be holding a piece of history, and possibly, a hidden treasure. The 1995 Queen Elizabeth II one-penny coin. At first glance, it may seem like any other penny tossed in your change jar, but beneath its copper shine lies an interesting tale of mintage, design, and collector curiosity. Some of these coins, depending on their condition or peculiarities, have sparked surprising attention in the numismatic world, and in 2025, that interest continues to grow. Let's explore the history, the key features, its rarity, and its current value in today's market. To understand why this coin matters, we first have to look at its origin. The 1995 one penny is part of the decimalized British currency system, introduced in 1971. By 1995, the penny had become a standard part of everyday transactions, with millions of examples produced annually. But while the coin itself was common, collectors began paying closer attention to certain details. The obverse side features a portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, a design that was widely used throughout this period. The Queen faces to the right, adorned with the royal crown and pearl earrings, and is surrounded by the traditional inscription denoting her title and the year of issue, 1995. The reverse side displays the iconic portcullis design with chains, symbolizing the British Parliament. This imagery had become standard for the penny, intended to represent strength, security, and tradition. This coin, like most British coins of the time, carries no mint mark. That is standard for most UK circulation coins. So when people refer to the no mint mark version of the 1995 penny, they are referring to the regular issue struck for everyday use, not a rare variety per se. However, there's more to this story than meets the eye. Physically, the 1995 penny is composed of copper-plated steel. This replaced the earlier bronze composition used in the pre-1992 issues. The coin weighs around 3.5 grams and measures approximately 20 millimeters in diameter. While the steel core is magnetic, the copper plating gives it that traditional reddish-brown appearance that older pennies are known for. Over time, these coins can darken, tarnish, or become spotted depending on storage conditions and circulation where, though produced in large quantities, collectors often search for coins that have stood the test of time in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. These coins, especially those with a strong strike, full original luster, and no contact marks, are the ones that carry greater value today. Now let's talk about rarity. From a mintage standpoint, the 1995 penny is not rare. It was struck in the hundreds of millions for general circulation, and as a result, most examples are still worth only their face value. However, where things get interesting is in condition and error types. In coin collecting, a perfectly preserved example, known as a mint state or uncirculated coin, is always more desirable. If a 1995 penny is found in pristine condition, no scratches, no handling marks, strong detail in the Queen's hair, and crisp lettering, that coin can attract collectors who specialize in high-grade decimal coins. In addition, rare minting errors can elevate the value of a common coin dramatically. These errors may include misstrikes, double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet flaws. Such coins, if authenticated and documented, can fetch significantly higher prices depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Collectors also pay attention to subtle die variations, slight differences in the engraving or lettering caused by the use of different dies during production. Though rare for this year, any noticeable deviation from the standard design may pique the interest of die variety collectors. So, while the 1995 penny is not rare by default, its rarity emerges in condition and anomalies. Let's now take a look at the coin's market performance in 2025. For the average worn, circulated 1995 penny, the value remains nominal. These coins are readily available and, unless they feature something unusual, they are still worth just 1 penny. However, when we look at coins in exceptional condition, those that have been stored in protective cases or obtained directly from mint sets, values can climb. In uncirculated condition, a 1995 penny might be valued at a few pounds or dollars depending on demand, grade, and I appeal. Coins graded by professional services and certified as high mint state, such as MS65 or higher, can command higher premiums. These coins are attractive to collectors aiming to build complete sets of perfect or near-perfect examples of every year. If a coin from 1995 displays a notable error and is authenticated as such, it could be valued at significantly more, sometimes in the range of tens or even hundreds, depending on rarity and buyer interest. That said, these examples are extremely uncommon and must be verified through grading and expert appraisal. As of 2025, the strongest market for this coin remains among collectors who specialize in modern British coinage, especially those seeking high-quality or error coins to fill gaps in their collections. If you believe you own a valuable 1995 penny, here are the steps you should take to assess its potential. First, examine the condition. Is the coin circulated or uncirculated? Does it have scratches, discoloration, or wear? Or does it appear bright, sharp, and flawless? Second, inspect it under magnification. Look closely at the lettering, numbers, and edges. Are there any anomalies such as doubling, cracks, or off-center elements? Third, weigh and measure it. A deviation from the standard weight or diameter could suggest a minting error. Fourth, compare it with certified images of known varieties and mint errors to see if there are any visible differences. Finally, if you think the coin is special, consider submitting it to a reputable coin grading service. A certified grade can significantly increase the credibility and marketability of your coin. The 1995 Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny may not be the crown jewel of British coinage, but it has its place in the world of collectors. While most examples are worth no more than face value, the possibility of finding an exceptionally preserved or error-struck coin still excites hobbyists across the world. For collectors just starting out, the 1995 penny is a perfect piece to practice grading, inspecting, and cataloging. And for seasoned numismatists, the hunt for the finest known example never truly ends. As always, the real value of a coin lies in the story it tells, the eye of the collector, and the rarity of its condition. The 1996 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny coin from the United Kingdom, while it may seem like just another copper coin, this humble penny carries a rich historical context, potential collector value, and intrigue for those who know what to look for. So, is it rare? Could it be worth a lot of money today? Let's find out. To understand the significance of this penny, we must begin with its historical roots. The 1996 1 penny coin belongs to the decimal coinage system introduced in the UK in 1971. Decimalization replaced the old currency format, introducing a simplified and modern structure. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the iconic effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, specifically, the third portrait designed by Raphael Maklauf, used between 1985 and 1997. This profile is easily recognized by the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, a symbol of British monarchy and heritage. The reverse of the coin features the classic crowned portcullis, a stylized gate often associated with the Palace of Westminster, symbolizing strength, governance, and continuity in the British nation. The 1996 penny was minted in a copper-plated steel composition, which had replaced the earlier bronze alloy used for pennies before 1992. As a result, these coins are magnetic, a small but useful test when identifying different issues. The coin weighs approximately 3.56 grams and measures around 20.3 millimeters in diameter. The edge is plain and smooth, with no milling or inscriptions. Now, one important detail, this coin carries no mint mark. That's because, traditionally, standard UK coins minted for circulation do not include a mint mark. All regular coins of this type were struck at the Royal Mint in Lantrasant, Wales. So, the term, no mint mark, simply means it follows the standard issue format, not that it's a minting error. However, that doesn't mean there's no opportunity for collectors. The 1996 penny was produced in massive quantities, hundreds of millions were struck that year. This means, from a mintage perspective, the coin is far from rare. It was widely circulated and still turns up in coin jars, drawers, and change to this day. Its abundance, unfortunately, limits its value in the general coin collecting market, especially in circulated condition. However, there are still aspects of this coin that can attract attention from collectors, and those aspects come down to condition, errors, and overall eye appeal. So, if it's so common, what makes a 1996 penny worth more than 1 penny? Let's break it down. Condition. Coins in mint state or uncirculated condition are significantly more desirable. A coin pulled from circulation will have wear, scratches, and fading details. But a coin that was stored properly, showing no signs of handling, can command a premium. Minting errors. This is where things get interesting. Occasionally, coins leave the mint with production errors. These could include off-center strikes, die cracks, planchet flaws, doubling of the design, or other unusual features. While the 1996 penny doesn't have a widely known error associated with it, individual flawed specimens can be worth significantly more, sometimes dozens or even hundreds of times their face value. Graded examples. A professionally graded 1996 penny, especially in MS65 condition or higher, can sell for much more than an ungraded coin. Certification from a trusted grading service adds credibility and appeal to buyers looking for top-tier examples, proof or special issues. Occasionally, proof versions are struck in smaller quantities for collectors. These coins feature a highly polished finish, with mirrored backgrounds and frosted designs. If you have a proof-like 1996 penny, it may have originated from a commemorative or collector's set, and could be worth more. Here's a general breakdown. Circulated condition. In worn condition, the coin is generally worth face value. You'll likely receive 1 penny for it, or perhaps a few pence from someone building a date set. Fine to very fine condition, light wear, good definition. These coins may bring in between 10 to 50 pence, depending on the buyer and interest. Extremely fine or almost uncirculated, these coins might sell for around £1 to £2. Uncirculated or mint state, MS60 to MS65. In pristine condition, the coin could fetch anywhere from £3 to £8 or more. A high-grade slabbed example might push £10 or even higher with the right buyer. Proof versions or error coins, values here can vary wildly. A verified error or a true proof specimen could be worth £20, £50, or significantly more, but only if the flaw is genuine and documented. Ultimately, this is not a coin that will buy you a car or change your life, but it could still be an appealing find, especially if you enjoy the hunt for high-quality examples or interesting minting varieties. If you're holding on to a 1996 1-penny coin or considering selling one, here are a few professional tips. Inspect under good lighting, look closely for any potential doubling, cracks, or unusual features. Weigh and test magnetism. If it's non-magnetic, it may be struck on the wrong planchet, a serious error. Most should be magnetic due to the steel core. Compare condition against grading charts. This helps assess whether your coin is just average or something better. Photograph both sides. If you're listing the coin online, provide clear, high-resolution images of the obverse and reverse. Don't clean the coin. Cleaning reduces value. Natural patina is preferred by collectors. Consider professional grading. If your coin is truly pristine or has an unusual characteristic, third-party grading adds authenticity and enhances market value. The 1996 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II penny might not make headlines in the coin world, but it offers a glimpse into British monetary history and the art of coin production. Its high mintage makes it a common coin, but condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand still leave room for added value in select cases. So, if you find one in your change that looks particularly clean or strange, it might be worth taking a closer look. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into one of Britain's most overlooked coins. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into rare coins, hidden treasures, and coin collecting tips from around the world. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and as always, stay curious.